Welcome to the Pedro and Banana podcast. Ray. Hello, Hannah. How you doing?
I'm good. Not too bad. How are
Hannah,
you?
Well, I'm pretty good. Let me ask you a question, Hannah.
Yeah.
Have you ever taken a black cab in London?
I have.
And how was it?
Yeah, good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I had really sore legs at the time, so it was totally worth getting in it.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Why did you have sore legs, Hannah?
I was probably wearing really inappropriate shoes. And I'd been walking for a while, and I thought I'd be able to manage the whole thing walking where I was meant to be going, and I couldn't. So, yeah, a black cab driver totally saved me.
Really?
Yeah, for sure.
And they're sort of a symbol of London, aren't they?
Definitely. 100%. When people think about that and travelling across London, they think London buses and the black cab and the tube. But
have you ever had a night out in London?
me personally?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah?
I love London.
Late night out?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And come out from somewhere and needed to get a cab.
Mm-hmm.
Who would you trust more? Private hire Uber or a London black cab?
Me, a London black cab.
Yeah, everyone
Every
would,
time.
right?
Every
Everyone
time.
would.
Every time. And
You know where you are.
Yeah, and lots of people, suggest the cost side of things as to why they wouldn't get a black cab, but it's totally worth the money.
I think it's negligible.
Yeah, I
You
agree
know?
with you. 100% I agree with you.
I grew up in London and there was nothing but a black cab.
Yeah.
There were private little mini cab firms, but central London, black cabs all day long.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's still exciting, even when you go to London. It's like, even from when you were little, a day out would be seeing those or getting in one or, any of those sorts of things. So it's still almost like I don't want to call it novelty, but it kind of is. It's a thing specific to London. It's important.
It is important. Yeah.
They are important.
Yeah. Well, today we got a very special guest. He's a black cab driver from London, obviously.
Yeah.
His name is Aziz, and he has just been getting a raw deal.
Yeah.
Prior to the pandemic, a raw deal.
Yeah.
Post the pandemic or during the pandemic, a raw deal. So I spoke to him yesterday on the phone for a little while, and we talked about, some of the things that he's experienced. Obviously, he's got some really good first-hand knowledge of how the effects of the pandemic were seen in central London.
Yeah, can you imagine?
Night and day, night and day things happened between it, just being bustling and him being busy and all of the things that he was up against with, private hire cabs and Uber and everything prior to the pandemic to just a light bulb going off, bang, nothing. No work for him, nothing.
Madness.
And so I thought it'd be great if we could talk to him about, some of the things that he's experienced, what kind of support he's getting.
Yeah.
How hard it was for him to get to where he could be a black cab driver.
It's not easy for them.
He's a full
really not
green
easy.
badge holding, go anywhere, proper London cab driver. 4 years doing the knowledge, 40 grand investment, and really, really put his time in to get there. And he's got some really interesting things to say, so we'll give him a call.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, let's call him.
While you slam your e-cig down.
Well, thanks for pointing that out. There we go. Ring, ring.
Hello?
Hello, Aziz. It's Peter and Hannah.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, good.
Relaxing. I'm actually fed up of relaxing. I want to work.
Oh, bless you, yeah.
We bet,
Can
we bet.
imagine.
Yeah.
This is not your normal Friday night, is it, I suppose?
No, well, I used to be a night driver, but I normally do like 11-hour days, starting around about 9 o'clock, finishing about 8 o'clock at night.
Wow.
That's what I normally do now. It's still long enough, but I do that 5 days a week and not work the weekends anymore.
Right. There you go.
The weekends are for my gigs when I get them.
Oh.
Gigs?
Yes, I'm a keen bass player. I've been playing bass for last 30 years.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you do that in like bars and clubs around London, or?
Well, it's mainly in for Turkish weddings, me being a Turkish Cypriot, so there's a big, Turkish community, and I play bass in quite a few bands and was very busy. But with COVID, it's like all of a sudden it's all gone.
Yeah.
All gone. And we spoke on the phone yesterday at some length about your experience of it. So at the moment, it's just completely dead for you. Nothing happening.
Yeah, I mean, as I was saying, on the 17th of March, I had a very good day last year. As soon as the 18th hit, when official lockdown happened, it was night and day, instant. There was no traffic, hardly anybody around, and I was driving around for hours and no jobs.
Wow.
It just instantly, night and day, that's how it was.
Wow. I was going to ask you that actually, because I wondered whether it was going to be, whether for you in London, whether it was an instant all of a sudden shut off, or if you could slightly see it diminishing in terms of people being around, or if it was just an instant. But it sounds like it was a proper instant moment.
The crazy thing about it is when you're going from like season to season, so let's just say you're approaching Christmas season. So normally, roughly around in the middle of November, you get lots of Arabs that come over here for Christmas.
Yeah.
And then you see a gradual climb of work. And as soon as it hits maybe like the end of December, then it's like it starts like a gradual sort of a climb down, and then it goes like completely dead.
Right.
In the lockdown, the first one, it was an instant from average to busy day to like non-existent. It really was.
Wow, that's quite eerie.
Yeah. Well, so your whole income, everything you relied on, just dried up completely overnight.
Completely.
And do you feel that
I was just saying it's. Sorry, go ahead, sorry.
I was just going to say, do you feel that you've been supported by the government since that happened?
With public support and public outcry from self-employed people from, all sort of trades, not just the taxi trade, which sort of change.org and whatever, putting pressure on the government to actually consider self-employed people, because we do, we do add to the economy, the self-employed. We took the initiative to train ourselves in the trades that whatever we're doing to try and be successful. We take the risks and we pay our taxes. And when you're self-employed, you actually work harder than you would do as an employed person, because you have to. Mm-hmm. That's just the way it goes. I'm not complaining, but because you work harder and you do make sure you pay your taxes. Well, a lot of people I know, we do pay our taxes, and we're not looked after as well as employed people. So I was one of the lucky ones. I did get, the grants that was available. Not a great amount, but it helps.
Yeah.
But nowhere near what your usual earnings would be.
No. I would say easily. I'm about, I'd say 70-80% down.
My
easily.
Goodness.
That's insane.
And, I don't have a wife and I don't have children. Those who have, and those who have invested, in the new taxis, which you must know they're incredibly expensive.
Are these the electric kind, or
yeah. I mean, you're talking about £70,000 there.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. I mean, people wonder. There's a lot of people that say, "Oh, black cabs." As soon as you mention black cabs, it's like, "Oh no, it's expensive." That's all they think. But a lot of black cab drivers, if you've got a longer journey, we are like individual shop proprietors, as it were. We are open to some sort of negotiation. It's got to be reasonable, but don't forget the black cab driver, what he or she had to go through to get that badge, and the expense and the sacrifice is unreal.
Yeah,
you just can't. The public that doesn't realise what we have to do to get this knowledge, it's unbelievable. And not only that, I want to give a shout out to definitely. We've got about 500 plus women that are cab drivers, and can you imagine a woman that's maybe like a single parent that's had to deal with the kids, the house, etc., deal with her divorce, and study the knowledge. That woman is amazing.
Yeah, because it really is really intensive, isn't it, when you study the knowledge?
Yeah, well, there's an examiner named Mr. Whitehead. I never forget what he says. He goes, this is his words. If the knowledge isn't taking over your life when you're studying, you're not doing it properly.
Wow. Crikey.
It's no joke.
How long does it take?
Well, on average, there are two badges. We have yellow and green badge. Yellow badge is a suburban, so that's like the suburbs of London split into 9 sectors. You pick a suburb that you want to do, and you just learn that, which normally takes anything from 15 months to like 22 months to achieve your badge. Now, the green badge, which is all of London, could take anything on average between 3 to 4 years. In my case, it took me 5 years and 8 months.
Wow.
So can you imagine?
Wow.
And there's no, it's not funded. You've got to fund it yourself. So you've got to support yourself. Can you imagine if if you have a family,
Yeah.
if you don't have an understanding missus, right, or mister, depending on which one is going to do the knowledge, it puts a hell of a strain on the relationship where the person who is studying the knowledge is number one and the family is second. As harsh as that sounds, that is the reality.
I suppose you really do have to get it drummed into your head, don't you? So you have to really focus.
When I was doing it, an average day is going out on my scooter, driving about 6 to 8 hours, and literally, no matter what the weather conditions are, you're out there on that scooter, and no matter how well you dress up or padded up yourself, you feel that cold.
Yeah, no sat nav, right? No sat nav.
No.
Clipboard.
You've got clipboard with your map of the area that you're going to learn, your routes, and if you're out doing the pointing, you just do your points. But when you get to a point, you don't just look at the point, oh, that's where it is, and you move on. You've got to work out, this is for each individual point that you go to find. You get to the point, let's just say, for example, the Hippodrome, on Charing Cross Road there by Leicester Square.
Yeah.
You've got to imagine, if you picked up a passenger there, you have to work out. The passenger tells you where they want to go. And you've got to know where that place is, where they've got to go. And then you've got to work out in yourself now, immediately. You've got a few seconds for this. Work out what route you're going to take, what way you're going to face the cab when you leave that point.
Because you're legally obliged to take the shortest route.
We have to take the most direct route from A to B, so you've got to try and follow a straight line.
Yeah.
But that's what you've got to learn to call, to run, etc. But then, in reality, sometimes you have to go wide to get the passenger there quicker because of the restrictions that we have. London's forever changing. TfL's forever changing. The council's changing the road layouts. And sometimes you're surprised and you've got to work out which is the best route for that passenger. And sometimes you have to go the widest route. Now, like myself and a lot of cabbies, we say to the passenger, look, the direct route is this. We have to take this other route. I'm normally quite negotiable with the price on that. I'd say, look, it's better for me if I take it this way around. It may go a bit more in a meter, but I will give you a reduction as well. I'm just being nice.
Yeah.
Not every cabbie does that, but I do. But a private hire doesn't have to learn this. They can just follow their navigation screen, and that's all they have to do. But we have to know, So sometimes I look at my maps, where you got Google Maps and you've got the red lines. If I see there's a few red lines on there, that's definitely a heavy roads and heavy route. I've got to avoid all that. And I let the passenger know that. That's what I'm intended to do, because the passenger's in the back thinking knows where they're going as well. And they're thinking, why are they taking me a long route on purposely? No, I'm just saying, look, I can take you this route, but it's going to be very, very heavy. Let me go for plan B. And sometimes plan B doesn't work and you've got to have a plan C, but you've got to know all this beforehand in a few seconds. Once the passenger has told you where they're going, you've got plan A, B, and C in your brain already, like going on. It's an automatic thing. And this is why knowledge is powerful. So when they say the knowledge is dead, you've got sat-navs now, but the sat-nav doesn't do that.
No.
The driver knows in real time what the situations on the road is. Like, for example, on a Sunday, you pick up someone, say, from Knightsbridge, and they want to get to, say St. Paul's Cathedral. You think, definitely, right, go down the mall, like Constitution's Hill. But on a Sunday, you can't do that because Constitution's Hill is closed on a Sunday. This is why we have the knowledge, because we know this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it takes you 4 years, does it, to get the green badge?
up to 4 years. Don't forget, there's 300 routes you've got to know, and you've got to be able to call it out just like that. You know, leave on left here, right here, forward here, comply roundabout, so on and so on. And certain roundabouts have got names, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I'll give you an example. Rubber Hive Tunnel. You know, there's a roundabout there.
Yes.
That roundabout's called Cullen Circus.
Hmm?
But not many people know that, yeah.
I didn't know.
No.
Yeah. You know Old Street Roundabout?
Yeah.
It's actually called St Anguswell.
Is that right?
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, you want to get that from a sat nav?
No.
In a million years.
Quirky London.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
the stuff you want to know.
You know, it's just some people when the passenger gets into the car in the cab, there's certain pubs have got like nicknames. For example, where is it called? It's called the Lonely Pony, which is the White Horse over in it's over in off King's Road, there, New King's Road. It's slipped my mind now. Sorry, but yeah, but, you know, there's a point called Stompy. Stompy is a Russian tank, which is a Mandela way off Old Kent Road. You know, there's things like this that we got to know. You know,
Yeah, of course.
you might think, you know, but you know, it's just certain things that we have to know, and you know, and when you're going about learning your routes, you pick up bits and pieces of information.
Yeah, and it completely adds to the experience of being there, because you would never get that from a private hire car. They wouldn't have a clue where they are. They're just following the sat nav, and you'd listen to a sat nav. But you know, in a cab with you guys, you can fill us in on anything.
Yeah, you know, there's certain schools. There's a few schools that they're acknowledged schools, and you've got to pay to go to them. They send you information out every day, because whatever's, you know, we go to the carriage office, we have the examiners that when students come out of the exams, which is a one-to-one oral exam between you and an examiner, you sit about maybe 6 to 8 foot away from him or her, and they got that map in front of them, the whole 6 mile radius. You have no idea what they're going to ask you. So they can ask you from any point to any point, right? You've got no idea now. So he's asked you the 2 points. You tell him where the 2 points are. He gives you a few seconds just to think about the route you're going to take. And when you're ready, you've got to call out the run as you see it, and fluently. And they deduct your points if you hesitate as well on calling it.
Wow.
God.
And we were also talking yesterday about the fact that you've got the full green badge that enables you to go anywhere in London. But we were saying that the yellow badge is just the outer boroughs, and it doesn't take as long to get a yellow badge, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Between 15 and 22 months, you should have that badge.
And nowhere near the same investment.
No, they don't invest what we have to invest, because don't forget it takes us 3 to 4 years on average. So if you was to say the first 6 months of your knowledge, you do all the runs. So it's like 4 runs a day, 16 runs a week. Times that by about 6 months, you've got your 320 runs. That's just your runs. You've still got points of interest to learn on top of that. And not only that, you've got to know where you can and cannot turn left or right. Which these days it's so hard now, because the roads keep changing with the LTNs and cycle lanes coming in. The crazy thing is, we are a public hire. Apart from the buses, we only have a public hire commercial vehicle.
Of course.
And we are wheelchair accessible.
Yeah, we spoke about that yesterday. It's really interesting, because this is something that not many people are going to know.
No. I mean, the cabs are so expensive. Like, for example, right, if you notice in a black cab, you've got yellow handles everywhere. And that's just for the disabled and the partially blind, when they can see, we have an intercom system. Some people are slightly hard of hearing, so they can hear us, because you've got the partition window. When you get into a cab, the first seat on the left-hand side, which is bolted onto the partition wall, is actually a swivel seat. There's a lever that the driver pulls, and that seat actually swivels out to the door for, like, we get the elderly that can't really step into a cab. So we take out the ramp, which has got a slight step on it. They step onto that little step, and they turn their back onto the seat, and then they sit on the seat, then you push the seat back into the vehicle.
Wow.
Things like that we have. The vehicles are so expensive.
Yeah. They're all modified
there's no
to
way.
that degree.
Yeah.
It must be.
Yeah, try and name an Uber driver in a Prius that can do that.
No.
I wouldn't like to think of what their contraption would end up being. It'd be crazy.
I mean, we've got far too many drivers on the roads now.
Yeah.
And with councils and TfL closing off all the little cut throughs, what they call the rat runs, or what we got that we use, which is, they're gradually taking those away, which we're losing our competitive edge. And they're doing this on purpose.
You were getting a raw deal long before the pandemic, though, weren't you? I mean, it's just a fact. Your trade is just being completely overlooked, and the mayor's not really doing anything for you.
No, but there's a court case that went a few weeks back. TfL and the mayor lost their court case because of, on Bishopsgate, there's a part of Bishopsgate where it's only buses and cycles a certain part of the day. Now, buses are commercial vehicles or public hire vehicles, so are we. We don't want no extra benefits. All we want is fairness, and where buses go, taxis should be able to go.
I couldn't agree
That's
more.
all we want.
Yeah.
That's, for example, if we're on the Strand, and I picked you up on the Strand Palace Hotel, which is more or less opposite the Savoy, and someone wanted to put their hand up there and say, right, I want to go to, just quickly, I need to get a train, but quickly take me to Waterloo Station. Really, the buses, when you go to the end, there's a right-hand turn, but buses can turn right onto Waterloo Bridge and straight over the bridge, and you're more or less there. But every other vehicle has to go through Aldwych, come back on yourself, turn back on yourself onto Strand to get the left. It makes more sense, more cost efficient for the passenger, but for me to be able to gain that right-hand turn. It's just stupid things like that.
Yeah, bureaucracy.
So if I was to pick you up, say you're on Borough High Street, and you told me, can you quickly run me up to Liverpool Street Station? It's just over London Bridge straight up, and you're more or less there. But because of the restrictions that it got there now, I have to go over London Bridge, do a right into Eastcheap, I won't call the whole run out, it'll bore you, but there's a certain lots of turns I've got to take to get you to Liverpool Street Station, which is going to add an extra £5 or £6 to your journey. Why not allow the taxis to go straight on through?
Yeah, that's right. And to give you that edge that you need more than ever at the moment.
Well, exactly. And the government has been so really, really stupid. Lots of taxi drivers have got their grants that they've received.
Yeah.
They didn't have to pay us this grant. All they had to do throughout the whole pandemic, right, is, there was a logistical problem in getting the PPE out to the medical places, nursing homes, etc. They had problems getting PPE out to them. Well, we had about nearly 20,000 cabs off the road for a fixed price a day, which would have been far cheaper than paying us the grants that they did. They could have paid us a certain amount daily rate, work a certain amount of hours, and allow us to load up the cabs. We've got plenty of space in the back. Load it up with all the PPE, right, and deliver it to the people. We could have done patient transfer.
What a fantastic idea.
Totally, you could have done patient transfer because, you've got the divide between you guys and the people in the back. It would be the safest option, wouldn't it, really?
Ideas was put through to the government, but they don't listen.
Yeah, until it's too late.
It's the most safest form of travel.
Yeah.
We've got the partition.
Yeah.
And it's a proper fixed partition.
Yeah.
We've got a payment window, but I could block up that payment window. There is no way that COVID is going to go through that window or through the partition.
No, that's right.
We could have transferred, the elderly, the disabled people, getting them to their appointments,
Yeah.
You know, medical. We all could have been working throughout the pandemic. I've had nearly a year off work because of this.
I was going to ask you, have you actually managed to do any work at all, or is it all been just having to stay at home?
Well, I had the 6 months off from March. I suffered with COVID badly. I nearly passed away from it. I was lucky.
Did you?
Yeah, in April, yeah. I
No
did that.
way.
Very bad. Yeah, I had to rehabilitate myself to walk again.
Oh my goodness. Were you in hospital?
Yeah. No, when the ambulance came round,
Yeah.
they sort of tended to me for an hour. And
Yeah.
I mean, it took them a couple of hours to get round to me, but I mean, they were overwhelmed, so
Yeah.
I respected that.
Yeah.
Eventually, they came round and they dealt with me, and they said to me, "Look, we really need to take you to hospital."
Mm.
And I said to them, "No, thank you. If I'm going to die, I'm going to die in my own bed watching a good movie.
Oh, bless you. Yeah,
I'm
of course.
not going to die on my own on a hospital ward. No, thank you.
Crikey.
You know."
Yeah, so
Yeah,
you've really
and
faced it, haven't you, really?
Yeah,
right from
yeah,
the beginning.
Yeah.
And did that
Yeah,
has that changed your mentality on the whole situation, do you think, having suffered from COVID yourself?
Yeah, I do look at life differently now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do look at life differently. I think everybody. I mean, I just appreciate what I have more. I mean, even though what I have at the moment is getting less and less because of what's going on with COVID, and I'm working less and I'm making do with what I've got. I still appreciate my life, you know.
Yeah, of
you know,
course. So
you know, I look at the positive things, you know, about it.
Which is great. Like, that's the best way to be on right now, for sure.
What else have we got?
Yeah, what have we got?
Well, the thing is, from when I was, you know, trying to rehabilitate myself, from being able to only walk up 3 steps and be out of breath, eventually I built myself up to walking. And when I eventually could get out, you know, go for walks, from going like, you know, across the road and that's it, I'm done, to walking 7 miles a night, you know. I actually built myself up, and I was walking 7 miles a night.
Wow.
You know,
That's
to
impressive.
build the strength back up. Yeah.
That's determination, though. That shows what kind of person you are. If you were able to sit and do the knowledge the way you did, and then you fought back from COVID like that, and your way of doing so was walking 7 miles in an evening.
And still willing to work
impressive.
now,
Yeah,
no less.
exactly.
Still willing to work.
Yeah.
That's so
I want to
impressive.
work. I really do. I don't want to. I hate this. I mean, I'm sick and tired of sitting around doing next to nothing. You know,
Yeah.
but you can't go anywhere. You can't drive anywhere really. You can't go and visit people. You can't do nothing. You know. So I mean, I'm sort of playing my guitar at home and you know, watching, you know, YouTube videos, listening to podcasts, and going for walks. That's all I do. And I think you know, food shopping and that.
Yeah.
But that's it. There's nothing else you can do.
I've seen some of your videos on Twitter as well. Did you still have the luxury of having your mum cook for you?
Yeah. the restaurant of mum.
I tell you, your mum makes some fine looking food.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah. I'm really gifted and lucky there.
Oh, bless.
Really lucky. Yeah, I've got amazing parents. I don't take them for granted. I'm so lucky there, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't take it for granted because I know there's a lot of people who are on their own and you know, I sometimes feel a bit bad when I post a video or two because there are people who are on their own or lost their parents, and you know, and there's me having a laugh and showing off my mum's good food and everything. I kind of feel guilty sometimes.
No, because the other side of it is, for a lot of people, that's a nice thing to see. So you know, it's a double-edged sword in a way.
It shows you that humanity is still out there. It shows you that those things are still going on and will go on
that's
again.
Right. I like seeing it.
Yeah.
Cheers me up.
Yeah, I love stuff like that.
Yeah, cheers me up.
Oh,
Yeah, fantastic. But going back to the knowledge, when I was studying, I was out sort of 7-8 hours on my bike. Coming home, this is in all weathers, yeah. That's like rain, snow, you name it, I'm out on the bike.
Yeah.
That's the way it is. You get home, I rest up for a couple of hours, and then I wait for my emails to come for... So how it works, when people are having appearances having a one-to-one oral exam, you got a representative from each of the schools asking the students, what was you asked, and then the students tell the representative from that school. That gets relayed back to the school then uploads it and then emails it out to all of the subscribers to that school. You download it and print it off, and then you work on those questions. So when I get the questions, normally about sort of 5 o'clock in the evening, I'm then studying on the maths till about 11 o'clock at night. And this is 7 days a week.
And it cost you a lot more than that, didn't it?
Oh, yeah, when you realise the fact of buying a bike, insuring it, getting all your clothing, your studying books, and your maps and all your stationery that you need for studying. And I took the last 2.5 years of the knowledge. I just gave up work because I wasn't passing any exams. So I took 2.5 years of work. I estimated it cost me about £40,000.
Wow. And unlike getting a standard degree at university or whatever, even though it takes the same amount of time, there's no real funding available for you. You have to self-pay for everything, right?
Yeah, there's no grant. If you was going to be, it's like when you go to university to study in medical or law or whatever, you get your grants from wherever you apply from. You get that, then you just go ahead and you start studying. There's not such a thing for the knowledge.
And we were saying yesterday that also the fact that it does take over your life really does put pressure on marriages.
Oh, yeah. I first started in knowledge back when I'm 50 now, back when I was about 20, I was 24 back then. I was married. And during the course of me studying then, it put a lot of pressure on my marriage, and I ended up getting a divorce.
That's terrible.
And there are people who are studying the knowledge that actually happens to them.
Wow.
You've heard of a lot of other people that have gone through that same kind of thing.
Yeah, and now there was another thing that came out about TfL. This is a bit of a double whammy. TfL put out something an email to all of the people who are subscribed to them. About being depressed and whatever, and how depression, you need to let someone know. But the trouble is, if a driver is depressed and going through some sort of depression, if you went and got medical help, the doctor has to notify TfL, which then puts your license in jeopardy because you're depressed.
Wow.
That's so hard.
That's ridiculous.
That's impossible.
Isn't that ridiculous? TfL puts out an email saying that, what we can do when it comes to depression, whatever. But yet if any driver was to admit that they're going through depression and they need some help, counselling, then they suspend your license because of it.
Oh my God.
You can't win.
That's the worst thing that they could possibly do. You need that. If you're suffering with something like depression, you would need to know that you have the stability of work to go to, and almost them cancelling that on you removes any of that ability to do so. That's horrendous.
Yeah, I presume they don't do that to Uber drivers.
No, and I don't understand it. Not just Uber drivers, but any private hire driver. I can't sound to be biased, but it is a lot of it is Uber drivers, but private hire drivers in general, they can, the outlay for them is nowhere near what our outlay is.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy.
What is do you know what the outlay is for them to start up? I mean, apart from the cost of the car.
Listen, if you wanted to become a private hire driver, right? Do you know they're still handing out licenses now? I mean, it shouldn't be at the moment. It should be capped at the moment because there's no work. The situation is this: if you got to apply online, you fill out the application form. You have to do a topographical test. It just shows that you know how to read a map and an A to Z. So you need a doctor's medical certificate. Your application fee. Roughly, it costs you around about £600, £700 to become a private hire driver. It takes you about 4 months, I think, the whole application procedure. And Uber has a special arrangement with TfL. They can fast track it in 6 weeks. Somehow, I don't understand how that works. That's what I've read. They fast track it somehow. And within, let's just say, if you apply today, in about roughly 3 to 4 months' time, you've got your license. You can go out there on the road.
Wow. Why is it being allowed? Why is this being allowed to occur?
It's always been the case. It's always been the case since 2012. Now, 2012, well, when I started studying the knowledge, just before then, it must have been 2010, I think, there was only about, I think, 60,000 private hire drivers. Uber came in on the scene. Now it's probably over 100,000 private hire drivers now. Yeah. Our numbers was about 25,000, but we've now dropped down to about 19,500 now.
Wow.
We've actually declined, but private hire has gone up. Yeah. Now, considering you've got all those drivers on the road, then you've got all the Amazon drivers, all those parcel delivery, DPD, UPS, whatever they're all those drivers on the road. Back in about 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago, there was only about 4,000 red buses. Now we're up to about 8,500 of them.
Whoa. London's not big enough.
Exactly.
It's not big enough.
We was talking yesterday about how also, as well as you needing to cover the cost of actually getting to the point that you can be what you are. Also, if you want to upgrade your cab now, you've got to go electric, right?
This is another thing now. Now, if you want to buy a brand new taxi, it has to be electric, or it has to be zero emission capable. About the new LEVC cab, right, is about roughly, depending on which model you go on, but it's about 70 grand. But there's a new Nissan one. This is a crazy one. The Nissan NV300 van. This is a crazy price in here. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. I would never buy one because it's not suitable in my opinion. As a van, you buy it as a van, it's about 18 grand. You buy it as a people carrier, which is a private hire use, it's about 25 grand. To buy it as a taxi, it's about £47,000.
My God.
God.
Anything that says taxi on it, it's a license for them to print money.
And that extra money you were saying only goes towards an intercom, the partition, and some of the adaptations to the actual taxi itself.
The only difference is between the people hire, the people carrier version, and the taxi. It's got the turn circle. It has an intercom, the taxi badging, some sort of ramp for the disabled access, and the partition wall. And that's it. You can't tell me that costs 20 grand.
No, not at all.
No,
not at all.
And I would never buy one because the range of it is it's got a range of about, they say, 183 miles on a full charge, but really you're looking at about maybe 140. Because if you're using, the heating, cooling, the light on the credit card machine, that all consumes power. Now, what happens if you're like coming towards the end of your shift and you've got about, 40% left in your battery? Someone puts a hand up, can you take me to Gatwick or take me to Heathrow? You're not sure if you're going to get them there. You're not sure.
That's risky.
It is risky.
It feels it feels like they're trying to push you out.
It really does.
It is. There is something that I'm going to put myself on the line. Allegedly, I say.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Allegedly, TfL will not admit this, but it is a fact. But they took it down. There was something called Project Horizon. And Project Horizon is something to do with a bronze, silver, and gold system for the private hire. If you've been a private hire for like 5 years, you just do what you can do now. If you've been a private hire for like 10 years, then you can use some of the bus lanes. But if you've been a private hire for 15 years, you're allowed to, set down in ranks and in taxi ranks.
What?
And maybe pick up from that. Yeah. Something along those lines, which I think taxi ranks is for taxi drivers. If you want to drive down bus lanes, if you want to pick up and set up, pick up in a taxi rank or a station rank, straight hail. If you want that, go and do the knowledge.
Yeah.
The knowledge is not biased to any creed, colour, or sex. It's open to all.
Yeah.
It's the least racial, least sexist, least homophobic. It's least everything. Yeah, it's open to all.
Yeah.
No matter what religion you are, what colour of skin you are, male, female, transgender, be what you want to be. The knowledge is open to all. Everybody can do the knowledge. People say, I could never learn all those roads. Yes, you can. You just have to apply yourself to it.
Well, I
If
don't
you've
know.
got an interest,
Sorry.
if you've got an interest in some, sorry, if you've got an interest in London's roads and want to know how it all works and have a keen interest, you're halfway to being a cab driver. You just need to learn the names of the roads and know how to memorize and visualize it.
What I don't understand is that
Yeah.
the government seems to be pushing you out, as Peter just said. It seems to be pushing you out, but really you are
Yeah.
such a big draw. In London, tourists, when they see a black cab, they know where they are. You're not going to get that when you see a Honda driving past. You're really not going to get the same effect. And you would think that the government would want to keep you and look after you. And the knowledge that you have, they're going to want that. It's an asset to the city as opposed to punishing you guys.
Yeah, I mean, for example, the Americans and the Chinese love us, and the Arabs, because they love to take photographs and of them in the cab. I get out and take photographs of lots of my passengers, and when I'm driving around, if I know I've got a business person on board or someone who's from London, I don't tell them much about about the tourist spots and this and that. If I've got a tourist. If I picked up someone from, say, Leicester Square and they want to get to Harrods, for example, or Olympia or something like that, as I'm driving along, I actually point out to them, I was like, this is Buckingham Palace, and this is this, and this is that, and I'm actually a bit of a tour guide as I'm taking them along. This is all part of the service. This is what we do.
It's what you want.
That's right. I don't know if I mentioned actually to you before, but I was actually born in Hackney. And when I was a little boy, obviously we had the local minicab firms, but if we ever went into central London, me and my mum to get in a black cab was like a bit of a posh day out.
Yeah, yeah. and because the way TfL has treated us, it's like the prestige has gone from the job.
Yeah.
They're trying to put us, it is a two-tier system, but they're trying to bring it into a one-tier system, We have every black cab driver, male or female, has gone through what I've had to go through. You really have to work hard. And it's really, there are times when you get to brick walls and you just want to give up, but giving up is not an option. When you're like 2 years into it and you're failing exams, giving up is not an option anymore. You have to see it through. And after 3.5 years, I was at that point. I thought, no. The amount of money and time and effort I've put into it, I've had a motorbike accident and broke my elbow and ribs, studying this knowledge.
Wow.
I'm not giving that up. No way.
And to make it a one-tier system just sort of makes all of that effort that you've already made negligible.
Yeah. Yeah. It really is. Listen, it's an amazing job. It really is. Seeing the amazing London every day. And you got the elderly. When you've got the elderly, and you got to, you make sure that you get them in nice and safely, and that they're all buckled up, and get them to where they want to get to. And that's what's happening now because of the restrictions of what's going on with TfL. We can't always get passengers where they want to get to. So if I had a disabled passenger, we demoed once for about a couple of weeks on London Bridge, because there was plans on putting cycle lanes in and only allowing cycles and buses to go down Tooley Street. Do you know Tooley Street at all? Just by London Bridge Station there?
I don't know.
Legion. Well, as you approach London Bridge, if you were to do a right on the south side, that is, that's tall Tooley Street. It leads you to Tower Bridge. It's that sort of bit of road there. Now there's a hospital down there, London Bridge Hospital, and then there's a Hilton Hotel down there as well. Now, if they stopped, there was plans to stop all traffic apart from buses and cycles to use Duke Street Hill, which is the beginning part of Tooley Street. What do I do with a disabled passenger it's really coming down heavy with rain? Sorry, love, or sir, I've got to let you out here and you've got to make your own way from here. They've got to go down a hill, cold and wet. That's not right, is it?
No, it's not right.
And coming back to the decision Check this out if this doesn't make sense to you or not. I don't get this for one reason. I don't understand this. When the mayor lost his court case a few weeks back, this is a judge saying they were, it was illegal for them to be able to push through all these LTNs without any consultations. It was unlawful, she said her words were, right, what TfL had done. And that's why she, and the public has got the taxi trade to be thankful for. We took them to court. We proved that they were wrong. It's discrimination against the disabled and elderly. Yeah. Yeah. And they lost it. But then Sadiq Khan wants to appeal it. When TfL said that Uber was unfit and proper, twice they said it to them. They went for two court cases. And when the judge said that TfL granted TfL on the last court, it was last September it was, she granted them another probationary 18-month license under strict conditions. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Why didn't TfL appeal that? Yet they want to appeal this they want to appeal the LTN that they rushed through unlawfully. Doesn't make sense, does it?
It doesn't make sense, no. And I know you can't say it, but it feels like there's some sort of conspiracy there, some backdoor money or something going on, because it just isn't right.
I'll tell you what it is. He has to go to a court of appeal to be able to appeal the decision. So he has to win one court case to be able to appeal the judge's decision. I don't think it's going to be successful.
Really?
Boris, on the other hand, wants them to go through. Because since we won that case, there's been an uproar with the public, with 5 other boroughs want to take their councils to court because of this. Right. Boris is not happy. Yeah. Now, I think that they're going to lose their appeal. Once they have lost their appeal, all of the fines that's been dished out to all the people that's been given fines, going through the restrictions. Some people don't understand the restrictions. All that money has to be paid back because it was illegal fines.
Yeah.
How's the council strapped for cash anyway?
Yeah, that's right.
How are they going to pay this back?
That's right.
That's the only reason why he's appealing it. Because TfL are strapped for cash anyway. They're broke.
Yeah.
Because of mismanagement. They got people getting paid over 100 grand a year that doesn't even know the job that they're doing.
Yeah, it's a bureaucratic mess. It's a mess.
It's so corrupt.
Deputy Mayor Heidi Alexander, it's actually on record. Yeah, it's been tweeted out. She's earning over 130 grand a year for that job, and she admitted that she doesn't know anything about traffic.
My God.
How are they hiring these people?
Oh my God, it's ridiculous. It's actually painful.
Sadiq Khan is actually he's advocating cycling and whatever. Yet, he goes to work in an 100 grand Land Rover full of bodyguards, and the last a mile of his journey, he gets out his little fold up bike and then rides the rest of it. But he's still got the vehicle behind him.
Oh, wouldn't you love for him to get in your cab?
Yeah, I would like him. The thing is, though, the annoying thing is, right? He's had an extra year. Yeah, he's been given an extra 3 year. Right? Don't think the last May the election should have happened.
Yeah.
But the government said no. They're giving Sadiq Khan another year, and throughout that last year, throughout his own mayoralty term, all he's done is blamed his predecessor.
Yeah.
I can understand you can blame the predecessor for a certain amount of time since you've taken office, but we're 4 years on now, and he's still blaming. Well, all right, you've blamed what was not right. What have you done to put things right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Where are the homes that he's supposed to have built?
Yeah, it's true. It's very, very true. You can see it.
He promised a renaissance in the taxi game. But he's given us a very expensive cab. Yeah. We're not allowed to go for all the bus lanes.
Yeah.
For example, if you're coming up Old Street, you go up to Angel Junction down Pentonville Road. Now, there's a bit of it where there's a bus lane, yeah, only buses and cycles can go through, but taxis have to bear left into Penton Rise to get into Swinton Street, Grazing Road, to get into Euston Road. But if we was allowed to go straight on through Pentonville Road, left into King's Cross Bridge, that saves us time, saves the passenger time, keeps the fare down.
See, listen to your brain with those directions. See, that's what you pay for.
That's what, yeah, exactly. And I'm rusty at the moment because I've been off work.
Yeah.
You know, and it's you know, the knowledge is there.
Yeah.
I'm a bit rusty now, but I need about a week to get back out on the road, and it all comes back.
It must do.
You know?
It must come flooding back. You must know those roads like the back of your hand.
You're going to be fine. Literally, I'm never getting in an Uber.
No.
Never.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, you know, but the thing is, we have to buy what TfL tells us to buy. Yeah? Right? We don't have a choice. Private hire can go and buy a brand new Euro 6 diesel vehicle and work in it.
Yeah.
We can't.
It's crazy.
And we've got taxis which are Euro 5 and Euro 6. Yeah. A taxi should be allowed to be licensed up until it's 15 years old, and then it has to come off the road. A Euro 5 taxi, which, for example, could have low mileage on it, he's now lowered the age of that to about, I think it's 12 years now. So he's taken 3 years off it. So for the driver that's bought that, he wants to, if a driver buys a taxi brand new, normally up to about 5 years old, it's kind of paid for after that, and the rest of it is mortgage free. That's when he's going to start making his profit.
Yeah.
And now what he's done is taken 2 to 3 years off the life of that cab. So the driver's lost that profit now.
That's such a dirty little game they're playing down there.
Well, I tell you what, take the years off it, fine. But pay when the driver goes, if the driver is expected to go and buy a brand new cab at the cost of 65 grand plus, what you've taken off that year off his old cab, right? You should give that money back to him to help him buy the new cab.
Yeah, and how long before they make all buses electric anyway?
Well, funny in that, remember Boris put that, he spent so much money to investment into creating the new Route Master.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hybrid bus, isn't it? And do you ever hear the noise coming out the engine running at the back of that recharges the batteries in it?
No, I've never heard that.
No, I haven't.
Well, there are engines at the back of that. If you you know the ones I'm talking about, that looks like the old Route Master, they're kind of curvy.
Yeah. The Caterpillar.
Yeah. Well, they're kind of self-charging.
Right.
All right. And the engine that charges it, how ironic! It's a diesel engine.
Oh my God! I did not know.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's laughable, honestly. You couldn't make that up.
You know,
honestly.
there's a video somewhere on YouTube. If you put on Metro Cab, a few of the organisations went to see this cab when it was in development stage. Boris went and drove one. Yeah, it came to TfL somewhere and he drove one, and it's the most ideal cab for us. Yeah, it needed some few tweaking here and there to get it right. Maybe the build wasn't quite right, but it was prototypes. You know, right? It had a recharge function on it. I think it was about 40 or 50 mile range, and you press the recharge button on it. In about 25 minutes or so, you've got fully charged battery. So in other words, the engine would only run maybe twice a day.
Yeah.
Now, bearing in mind, they want us all to drive electric cabs, but unfortunately, not everybody lives in a house that has a drive that you can put a charger on it.
Especially not in London.
No.
How do they expect them to work?
Exactly. So then they've put to date now. There's probably about 3,000 electric cabs being sold. Yeah. You know how much? You know how many dedicated charging stations they got for cabbies?
No.
It's less than 100.
Wow.
Yet we got over 3,000 vehicles sold.
Oh my God! And you're expected to buy more now.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that is the worst organisation.
Yeah. Check this out. Yeah, Siddiq Khan goes on record recently that he's doing a lot to help us. He's done jack nothing. I'm not going to be rude on your podcast. He's done jack nothing. He thought he was being generous. You know, some of these bus lanes now are 24 hours. And he's still allowing us access. Well, he's not being generous. We should access bus lanes anyway.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Waterloo Bus Depot, there's a road called the Cut. And off there's a turning off just by the old Vic there called Cornwall Road. And in there's a bus depot. Do you know there's about 50 chargers in there, rapid chargers, that the buses use? And during the day, it's mainly empty. Why aren't they allowing us? Instead of putting, if they say that they're pressurised to put charging stations everywhere for cabs, where we need it, right? Why not allow us to use the rapid charging stations in the bus depot that's not used during the day?
That would make sense.
You're absolutely right.
How long would it take to charge a I don't know if anybody knows the answer to that one. How long would it take to charge a taxi in one of those?
If it's on a rapid charger, it could take roughly about an hour.
Wow.
So I could pull up in that bus depot, put it on charge, go for a coffee or something somewhere, or even talk to a few bus drivers there while I'm charging. The drivers, off shift. Yeah. And if the cabbies don't want the electricity for free, we will pay for it. TfL is so strapped for money. They're so stupid. They could put these rapid chargers everywhere, yeah, right, and give every cab driver some sort of payment card thing. Yeah. And we just pay to, we use it, we pay for it, and TfL gets the money for it.
Yeah.
It's so simple.
Yeah. It's really annoying. I feel like we need to get you in there.
I actually feel annoyed.
I do too. I'm actually feeling really frustrated for you more than anything.
Don't get me wrong. Trust me, I want to buy. I do want to be driving an electric cab. They look nice. They drive lovely. They got all they're comfortable. The passenger likes it because you got a panoramic roof. So when you're going through central London, the tall buildings, etc., you can, especially when the Christmas lights are on, you can go through and see the lights. Lovely, It's fantastic. It really is fantastic. It's a great vehicle. Yeah. But at 65+ grand, no, thank you.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Considering everything else you've already spent to do the job that you do now, anyway, that on top of it is just disgusting. It is appalling. If they want you to drive them, where is their grant to help you buy one, or a bit of support to cover half of the cost of it? Or
green initiative money should be offsetting against something like that. I mean, it's a fundamental part of the movement of London, the economy.
Listen, you could be a private hire driver, go to Mercedes, buy yourself an E-Class or a C-Class, quite luxurious model as well, spend about 20 to 24,000, and that's all you have to spend. It could be a Euro 6 diesel as well, and you can work it. Yeah. Yeah. But you can't do that in a private hire. Now, what TfL has done now is, if you buy a brand new vehicle for private hire, it must be some sort of plug-in hybrid, and must be able to do a minimum of about 20 miles. Yeah. Yeah. Now,
20 miles on electricity only.
Yeah.
So what's the point in that?
Well, you're not plug-in hybrids, because it's got a combustible engine in it as well.
Yeah, so it's got to do 20. It's got to do 20 miles on the battery alone.
Minimum.
So presuming that you won't take it to the extent that it needs to kick in the motor again and again. Well,
if you're around London, you can do 20 miles quite easily when you're just looking for work.
Yeah.
But that's its stipulation. But if you bought a Euro 6 vehicle, now the thing is, Mercedes, they do a plug-in hybrid, a petrol version, and a diesel version. So that diesel version can still be licensed. Work that one out. But the taxi driver has to buy whatever it's been given. And when people say about, there's two things that the public's got to realise. Yeah, we don't set our fares. We don't. Whatever the meter says, TfL sets that meter, It's out of our control.
That's right. We were
And there
talking
are
about that. Yeah, because when you so sometimes as a passenger, when you sit in traffic, as you were saying to me yesterday, you see the meter ticking over. People have gripes about that, but it's completely out of your hands.
Yeah, it's out of our hands. And sometimes I'm waiting in traffic, and it's ticking over, and there's some stupid roadworks or an LTN that I got to go all the way around, for example. Low traffic neighborhoods. And you're sitting in traffic, and that meter ticks over. Now, as like a lot of cabbies, I'm not saying all of them, but I'd say most of the cabbies, we have a heart, and even though if a journey should have costed, say, £20, and it says £30 on the meter, a lot of us would give a reduction.
Wow.
We would.
So you're running at a loss then?
Yeah, no choice, because the public seems to... As soon as you mention black cab to the public, they say, it's expensive.
Yeah.
But then when they get into an Uber, and yet Uber's done their surcharging, people don't complain as much. You see, if you go on Twitter, you find so many people, my Uber done this and charged me extra for this when I only done this, and I cancelled the job, and yet they're still charging me £15 or whatever. That same person that complained about Uber on social media, when the uproar comes that Uber was about to lose their license, oh no, we rely on Uber. They come to our door, this and that. Well, you can't have it both ways.
No, you can't. And do you know what? I don't think a lot of the public have any idea what they're paying for when they get in a black cab. And I think speaking to you has really shown a lot more about where that money goes, what you're paying for. You're paying for quality. You're paying for something special. And it's well worth it.
Just think, the women who are taxi drivers, some of them have got, whether it's man or woman, but I'm saying women as well, specifically. A woman takes on most of the roles in the house. Let's be realistic, the house chores, the kids, the schooling, etc., etc. And hands up, I rate women that they have to do that. Can you imagine doing all that, dealing with the kids that's being awkward, and you're studying to do the knowledge? Now, when a woman's had to go through all of that, and then she gets out on the road, it's got what she's when she's out working, it's got to be worth it.
Yeah. At that point, it must feel like a complete battle. You battle at home, you battle through the knowledge to hopefully make a good life for yourself, and then the government are putting roadblocks literally across everything.
Any driver that wants to do the knowledge goes through the sacrifice, the pain and expense to do it. Now, because you are the one willing to do that and go through that pain, and trust me, the examiners are tough. There is no exam in the world that's so rigorous like the knowledge. Trust me.
Yeah.
Trust me. There is no exam like it in the world. And when you've gone through all of that, it's got to be worth something.
Yeah.
Seriously. You can't do it for peanuts.
You want to feel like you're, that you've done this for a really good reason. And
worth it. You go and get a law degree. You want to come out and get a job as a solicitor, surely.
Yeah.
You want to practice law. It's got to be worth something.
You want to be a well-respected cab driver
you've
in
done
London,
your time.
and your government are literally attacking you left, right and centre by the sounds
more,
of it.
Yeah, it's more than just ignoring you. It's an attack.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, and the thing is, everything to do with the cab game is expensive.
Yeah.
We are running at a loss.
Yeah.
But the public, all they see is cheap. But the whole point of Uber is really to charge so cheap, running at a loss, because it's never made a profit. I know we keep talking about Uber. I'm so sorry. I'm not boring.
No. It's not boring at all. It's actually really important.
Yeah.
But this is what the public don't realise, and they've got to wake up to this. Right? Yes, we can't help what we charge. Unfortunately, it's TfL that sets that, and we've got lots of outgoings. We have, seriously.
Yeah.
All right? But then Uber's intention is to charge so low to get rid of the competition. Once you've got rid of the competition, it has the monopoly. It could charge what it wants. And then when you've done that small journey, and they can charge you 30, 40 quid for that journey, right, which should have cost about £10-15. That's when that happens and the demise of the black cab happens. Hopefully it never does. But if it got to that, that's when the public's going to wake up and thinking, where are the black cabs?
Yep, 100%. I completely agree with what you've just said.
You've not look, any school kid that's growing up now, you tell them to name me 10 things about London. Somewhere in that 10, the black cab is there.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
We've been around for over 350 years. 150 years longer than buses.
Yeah.
And yet, we should have, and they're taking bits and pieces of roads away from us.
It's ridiculous. It's something you want to keep. You want to treasure it. We don't want to lose it. Why on earth would they be doing everything to get rid of you guys?
Have you seen Tottenham Court Road? Do you know Tottenham Court Road now? The reason why, and the street that runs parallel to Tottenham Court Road is called Gower Street.
Right.
Which is now a two-way road. It was 3 lanes coming down it to Shaftesbury Avenue, and Tottenham Court Road was 3 lanes going up towards Euston Road. Yeah?
Yeah.
They've now banned all traffic, apart from buses and cycles going up Tottenham Court Road. Everything else is diverted through Gower Street, which, if you're going to put cycles, this is stupidness of TfL and Camden Council, right? They put dedicated cycle lanes on Gower Street, and they've extended the pavement, put dedicated cycle lane, and they've put a single lane going up and down for all other traffic. Yet, the Tottenham Court Road is now for buses and cycles. Why put the cycle lane there in Gower Street? Why taxis should be allowed to access it? If buses can go, why can't taxis? If I picked you up from the Hippodrome on Leicester Square and you tell me, can you get me to, let's just say you wanted to go to, let's give a point. Cocoa Club, which is up in Camden High Street there.
Right.
On the corner. The most straightforward route is I leave on left Charing Cross Road, forward Tottenham Court Road, forward Hampstead Road, and then forward into Camden High Street, set down on right. No, I can't do that now. I've got to leave on left on Charing Cross Road, right into Shaftesbury Avenue, forward Cambridge Circus, or no, St Giles Circus, no, Princes Circus, or forward Princes Circus, forward Shaftesbury Avenue, forward into Gower Street, left Gower Place, right Tottenham Court Road. So I've got to go all the way around now.
Wow.
So that's now going to cost you £5 or £6 extra.
Yeah, which is insane.
Yeah. So what do you think what do you think the global plan should be to actually tackling it? What do you want? What do you think that should be done overall?
I think equal rights for buses and taxis.
Black cabs.
Black cabs. Well, I mean, a lot of these cycle lanes that they've put in, I don't say cyclists doesn't have a place in London. Of course they do. Yeah. But it's got to be, like a lot of people have said, it's really have to be put in properly. The consultations have got to be put right, got to be done correctly. And I'll give you a prime example of where the mistakes have made. Now, if I've come from Oxford Street, and I'm going forward now, going towards East London, going forward towards the city. Now, the continuation of Oxford Street is called New Oxford Street, Bloomsbury Way, and then got Bloomsbury Square. Now, there's a hotel there. It's a Kingsway, I think it's a Thistle Hotel, Kingsway. Now, we pick up passengers there that wants to go to Euston Station. We used to be able to pick up from there, leave on left there, and do the cut through from Bloomsbury Square, Russell Square, Tavistock Square, straight up there. But no, they blocked that off. Then you thought, okay, then do the next left, which is it's gone from me that street now. This is what happens.
This is what happens.
You do the next left there, I think it's called not Bloomsbury Way, Bedford Road, that's it. That's Bedford Road, forward Russell Square, and then you just comply. I'm not going to call the whole run out to bore your listeners. But no, we can't do that left now. I have to now go forward into Theobald Road and do right into Red Lion Square, right into High Holborn, and do a series of 4 right-hand turns to be able to do the left that I needed to do in the first place.
Wow.
And they allowed only cyclists to do a left there. If they had allowed buses and taxis to do a left there, it would cost my passengers probably about £7-8, maybe up to £10 cheaper to get to Euston Station.
So
that's what I'm saying.
Let's look at it another way. Let's say we can get you some of what you want, and in an ideal world, the government say, right, we're going to make the roads completely fluid in London for black cab drivers. We're going to offset the cost of the electric taxi with a grant to make it affordable for you, given all the work that you've done to get there. We're going to make those charging ports available for everybody, not just the buses, in order to help you. What do we do about Uber and the like of?
Well, Uber, in my opinion, needs to go for a start. I'm not saying that because I'm black cab driver, it's fact. It needs to go.
It needs to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was brought in illegally through the back door, through David Cameron and Jeffrey Osborne, because Rebecca something, she's a ginger-haired, curly-haired woman, I forgot her name. She was pally with David Cameron, a godparent to one of his children, apparently,
Right.
and something else along the line, got Uber in through the back door. Uber and because of Uber got in, do you know how many minicab offices got shut down?
No idea.
Most of them are shut down now.
Yeah, I bet.
Crikey.
Yeah? So this is a farce when they say there's about 40,000 drivers in London who drive for Uber, that they're all going to be unemployed. They're not going to be all unemployed because half of them are part-timers anyway. The rest of them used to work for local minicab offices, which is much more safer to me because the passenger can actually ring the office and make a complaint.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone
But
who's
now you're-
answerable.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
and Uber
crazy.
gets away of being a tech company. So in this, but in another country, they're a transport company. What are they?
What are they? Yeah. What are they?
In
What
the
are
they?
case of Uber drivers, effectively, from what I understand, which isn't a lot, they can just decide to clock on when they feel like it. So they'll just set themselves up on the app and just drive into London. That could be from anywhere. They could be from Essex. They could be from Surrey, Sussex. They could be from anywhere, driving into London to try and pick up some work here and there, like for however long they want to. London government want to try and reduce congestion, reduce the amount of traffic. Why on earth are they allowing Uber cars
It's
to
gotta
go
go.
in there
It's
and
gotta
do
go.
it? It
It's
makes
crazy.
no sense. We've got black
Listen.
cab drivers.
All right, and I want your public to understand this. Oh, black cab drivers don't go South London. That's an old argument. That's dead and buried. It's been dead and buried for the last over 10 years. We go anywhere. We just want the work.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Any black cab driver now, you stop them in London, say to them, I want to go to Plumstead. It's a really good fare. Why would he refuse?
Yeah.
Because in Plumstead, Plumstead is a yellow badge sector 3 area. Now, if he's in that area and he's got his light on, once he's dropped off in Plumstead, he'll put his light on. That green badge driver is allowed to work in that area. If someone puts their hand up there and want to go somewhere, he's allowed to pick up.
Oh my God, this has been an
Plumstead Station
absolute awakening.
Yeah.
I had no idea about a lot of this stuff. It's
No,
amazing.
I didn't either. It's amazing and frustrating in equal measure because I don't know how you're keeping so calm about it.
And
to
we
be
are the
honest.
public, so
We are the
if we
public.
don't know, no one knows.
No, I would
Where's
hope
the-
though for you guys in terms of COVID and the situation we're in, I would feel so much more comfortable getting into a black cab with, as you say, the partition between you and the driver, knowing that the area is sanitised, all of those kind of things, than climbing into the back of an Uber of a random person, not quite knowing what they're doing, where they've been, who they've had in their cab before, probably not sanitising or doing anything. I feel like maybe it could work out quite well for you guys. You might end up being able to actually pick up a bit more business than they do straight after this lockdown.
You would think. I mean, check this out. This is the attitude of the public. Yeah, this might come across harsh or rude, but when they're out at night, they go to these expensive bars and whatever, and a round of drinks, as you know, is expensive. Yeah, I mean, if there's 6 of you and it's your round, it can cost you 25, 30 quid for that round, if not more, depending on what they're having. Yeah, you don't mind tapping the card and paying that all day long. You'll do that, but to get home, you want to get home the cheapest possible way. You know, and you want to sacrifice your safety, but you don't care when you're paying £5 or £6 for a pint of beer, which is overcharged.
So right.
You know,
it really is.
and that driver is put his heart and soul and his sacrifice to get that badge.
Yeah.
He's losing his social life, a bit of it, to get you home safely. And another thing that's got a peace of mind. I mean, I don't know if any of you have children, but if you have like a 10-year-old son, daughter, stuck up in London, and the child hasn't got any money on them, guarantee you, all you have to do is tell your child, put your hand up for a taxi. The taxi will put that child in the back, will get that child home safely.
Yeah.
And we ain't got to worry about getting paid or whatever, because we know we're going to get paid at the other end. But you can leave you got that peace of mind. Yep. You can put that child in.
You guys are all DBS checked, aren't you? You all have to have all the DBS checks and everything like that.
Enhanced.
Yeah.
I think our DBS checks are a bit more enhanced than private hire.
Yeah, I can imagine they are.
You know, it really is.
Yeah, they have to be enhanced disclosure because it's 1-to-1.
Yeah, they would.
You know, and TfL has shot themselves in the foot by handing out all these private hire licenses. Because how many people... when was the last time you saw a full bus? Forget school time.
Yeah, it's true.
That's right.
It's true.
These are all the would-be TfL bus... That's why the tubes and the bus fares keep going up.
Less people are going to want to get on a bus after all this anyway. People are going to want to be in a safe space. So, you know, hopefully that will at least do something for you.
Well, there's a video on what was it, on Twitter. There was a video somebody posted and it got shared on, I think it's on Hackney Road, because of the LTN that they put in there. Their video, and they counted 20-odd buses in a line, most of them empty.
Wow.
What a joke. Well,
that's just ironic. That's just work that one out. They've got such stupid people working in TfL with no common sense. It's unreal.
This is an awakening. It really is. You know, we really appreciate you coming on and taking the time to talk to us about this stuff. I don't think many people are going to know until now a lot of the stuff that we've discussed today. So
we need to get this out there as much as possible.
Yeah,
so
we do.
We
do, absolutely. People need to know. So
all I'm saying is, look, I have no gripes with private hire. Yeah, there is a place for them.
We can hear that.
Yeah. There is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But we don't need likes of Uber to be here. We don't need that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The local minicab offices give jobs to the local people.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and you're taking that away.
Yeah.
And you got a recourse if something's wrong. You got a recourse. You can actually ring up that office. You can't ring up Uber. If you can get through, that is. They want everything done by email.
Yeah.
You know, there is a place for private hire, but there's a bigger place for us as well. All we want, we're not asking for anything special. We just want what's fair, and where buses go, we should be able to go.
Well, you got my vote.
Yeah, me too. 100%.
That's all we want, you know.
We have one last question for you before we go.
Sure, anything.
Dinner and a show?
Yeah.
We're asking you if you'd like to. Would you like to come for dinner and a show when this is all over with us?
Definitely, please. Yeah. You got my contact details.
Yeah, we'll keep in touch.
Come along.
Oh,
when this ends, we have to get together. We have something to eat, and we'll go and see a show.
Definitely.
Yeah. I'd be happy to.
Oh, Aziz, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you ever so much for coming on.
Thank you.
I hope I haven't bored you at all, and I hope the listeners find it interesting.
It was amazing.
But
Thank you ever so much.
You're welcome. Thanks to all your listeners, and I'm happy to come on again whenever you wish.
Oh, we'll speak soon, hopefully.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right. You take care until then.
Thank you.
All right, goodbye now.
Bye.
Bye for now. Bye.
Well, that was really, really interesting.
Very enlightening.
I mean, my God, what a raw deal those guys are
It's
getting.
horrendous. I can't believe half of that. I actually did not know half of what he just said.
What a lovely guy.
Yeah, I mean, I've always loved going in a black cab and going to London to do those things. And I knew in the far distance that they were struggling. Obviously, you could see the protests and things like that. But to actually understand everything that they've been through, the amount of money that they spend, the amount of time and effort that they spend putting into being a black cab driver, knowing the knowledge, making tourists really happy, because it does make you happy when someone can tell you stuff and give you like, oh, that's a great bar to go to, or, you know, this is where blah blah did this, and all of those things. That's important. An Uber driver who barely says hello to you is not important. Yeah. Even slightly.
Well, from now on, as far as I'm concerned, I've never actually gone in an Uber anyway, but I will not be getting in an Uber. So anybody listening, if you've got any savvy about you, take a black cab.
Yeah, that's
Thanks
the way
very
to
much. Go. All right, until next time. Goodbye now.
Bye.